What's up, YouTube? It's your boy J Sneaker Squad. I am J Sneaker Squad, the Sneaker King. This is our first. Me and Chef OJ. Y'all know my partner, Chef OJ. This is our first podcast on the YouTube channel. We have a very special show for you guys today. Something I'm real deep and proud of bringing to the channel. We have, if those of y'all who like books, those of y'all who are interested in books and reading books, like a comment at the bottom. What was your first favorite book that you read when you were a kid? Mine was Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. What did you read when you were a kid, bro? Your first book.
My favorite book when I was a kid was James and the Giant Peach. Y'all might have seen the movie as well.
There you go. And so, today's a very special book video about books because we have a very special guest today who I will introduce in a minute, and he will introduce himself and let you guys know a little bit about himself and where he's from. He's a friend of mine. He works with me at my job. Like I said, I don't really put out where I actually work at, but yeah, he's a friend of mine who works with me at my job. But me and Chef OJ are very excited today because it's our first podcast on the J Sneaker Squad YouTube channel, and we're actually gonna probably do more videos like this for you guys and bring them to the channel. But this is a first very special event for us both, so we wanted to do it big, and no other place to do it in Starbucks. But our special guest is a young author. He wrote his first book, and he's going to share it with us today. So I'm going to let him tell himself a little bit more about himself to you guys. So go on ahead, man.
All right. So would you guys like to know?
Your name, where you're from?
My name, okay.
Yeah.
My name is Alessandro Verde. I go by Alex. Born and raised in Texas. I was born in El Paso, but I was raised here in San Antonio. Love Texas. Love the culture here. Love the environment here. Love the people here. Love everything about Texas. I've always been passionate about storytelling, and stories come in all shapes and sizes. You know, movies, video games, books, of course. You know, to me, most importantly, you know, books. I've always found reading to be the definitive way to experience stories, to tell stories.
Yeah.
This is something I'm very passionate about. I love stories. I love, you know, horror stories,
Yeah.
hopeful stories. Faithful stories, romantic story. I love them all.
So you're basically a good novelist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
I grew up reading comic books, you know, so I just like things like that. I've always been a fan of things like that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get today's 10 days of 10 questions to get to know our author a little bit more. So I'm gonna ask him 10 questions. JR's gonna ask him 10 questions. Well, not 10 total, but it's 5 for JR, 5 for me, and it's a total of 10 questions with our guest. And then he's gonna let himself explain more about his book and what is the story about. So maybe if you guys are interested in this book, later on at the end of the show, he'll show you where you can purchase this book and buy it. But I'm gonna shoot off with JR, Chef OJ. Y'all know him. He's gonna hit him up with some 5 questions about the book. So go ahead, JR.
Alrighty, well, you all know our guest. He just introduced himself, so let's get it started. All right, Alex, nice to meet you. Good to have you here. So, you being such a so young, what inspired you to want to be a writer?
Nothing really inspired me. It's just something that's always been there. You know, when I was younger, I would always write little short stories. I'd have my mom read them. It'd be like a page, you know. I always liked reading too. You know, I was always in the library reading the books there. It really was the most natural thing that happened to me. If you're asking about what inspired me to start writing it, it was because, in all truth, I felt like I was running out of time. It was something I've always wanted to do, and I knew that sooner or later I had to put pen to paper. And I figured I didn't want to wait till I was older. I didn't want to wait till, you know, I couldn't do it. And, you know, I mainly started writing it during COVID, which is I had all the time in the world. I was just home all day.
That's amazing time.
Yeah. So I was home all day, and that's really when I put pen to paper. That's when I started actually typing. Well, I say pen to paper. I typed it out mostly, right? So yeah, like to answer your question, it just came to me very naturally. Like nothing really inspired me to do it. It was more of a matter of I finally had time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you being such a young, gentleman, young author, what did you ever have any pushback from people? You know, oh, you're too young, or you really don't know what you're going to do
Yeah,
yet,
I did.
or it's not going to happen. I mean, what made you want to push through that?
So I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna say who.
Right, no,
you
no,
know,
no.
yeah,
Don't write them out.
Yeah,
Don't say who
exactly.
it is.
I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but I had a few people one of those people, I was surprised that they were like, actually, maybe not. It was the weirdest thing because in this day and age, I see a lot of negativity.
Oh,
But
yeah, then,
for somebody to be like, don't go pursue your dream, that was weird. That to me, that was so surprising.
yeah.
And they didn't necessarily say don't pursue your dream, but they were like, oh well, you're probably never gonna be as good as Stephen
Right.
King. You're never gonna be S.A. Bodden. You're never gonna be,
Right.
you're never gonna be these awesome writers who have already been there and they've done that. And to me, that was always very surprising. Like, but then again, that's the reality of today.
Right.
So some people, they just they live in a way that's just too realistic, where like they won't allow themselves and they won't allow other people to
Just try
push
to get out of
forward.
there.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
exactly.
got you, I got
Push
you.
forward. Yeah, exactly.
So to add on to that question, or the question I just asked you, besides the negativity, did you also have support?
Yeah. I had more of that than negativity, and I thank the Lord for that every day. My family, of course, my parents, my brothers, they were so supportive and they were all about it. I remember my parents, it was the funniest thing, they, in their heads, they knew that I was writing something, it's not like I ever kept it a secret,
Yeah.
but I always thought it was funny because when I gave them the prologue to the book,
Oh.
and I asked them like, hey, can you guys tell me what you guys think? They were like surprised. They were like, wow, like this is
Yeah.
actually, like, you actually
Right.
wrote something,
Yeah.
you did something. And of course, they're my parents, so they're gonna be biased.
Right, right.
Like they're always gonna be on my side.
But negative criticism, sometimes when I look at it, it's good. But also, like, it's like for me, like, I don't know how some people are, but just me and generally, like, if I get negative criticism, I take it as fuel. I use it as fuel to
Yeah.
motivate me,
Yeah.
to push me to want to be better, to do better, so I can come back. And it's not like saying, I don't want to sit there and say, like, oh, I did this better than you. No, it's just like, I use it as, especially when it comes from your family.
Mhm.
I use it as like my family, when they criticize me or it's something negative, I use it as fuel to motivate me, to push me to be better. So I can tell my family, hey, I did it, but look, you thought, you denied I couldn't do it, think I couldn't do it, but hey, I did it, I overachieved it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to use it as.
Yeah, my family, they were the biggest support. They were my biggest fans, my biggest cheerleaders.
That's the best. That's the best thing to have.
And of course, I have friends who were like, they were all about it. They were like, dude, that's awesome. I'm proud of you, spit. Dude, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. And a lot of my friends were like, hey, well, where's it at? Like, I want to read it.
Yeah.
And that was always the coolest thing. Like, these people who were excited for me. And I never really experienced that before, so that was super cool. And that's the greatest feeling in the world when
Yeah.
you have these people who are rooting for you.
Yeah.
Like that's the greatest thing in the world. So, yeah, like, and I'm glad to say that there was more positivity than negativity.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
How did you, once you decided, hey, I'm gonna do this. This is what I want to do. How did you go about finding your niche? Were you into more mysteries? Were you more into horror? Were
Well,
you into-
okay, so horror for sure, because I grew up in the golden era of creepypastas. So, and I grew up, with Jeff the Killer.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I read those stories.
I know you said Stephen King too, so
Yeah,
like,
and of course
Okay.
Stephen King, of course. Jeff the Killer, the Slender Man, that was a big deal back in the day.
Oh.
And I watched a lot of YouTube growing up, so Markiplier was always playing,
Okay.
horrors. So I've always thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Horror. Like I said, I don't really discriminate though. Like I
No,
love
no.
all kinds of
But
storytelling.
once you got pen to paper, you decided.
Well,
this is-
actually,
I would like
so
to push more towards this.
at first, I was like, this is gonna be a horror. Like this
Right.
is scary. It's gonna,
So you knew
toes
off the top of
curl.
your head,
But yes,
this is what you
but
want.
as it kept going on, and as I was like rereading
Right.
my work, I realized it's not scary. It's more of a thriller,
Right.
and it's more of like there's some scary moments and there's some suspense. And I've heard the few people who've read it so far, I've heard them say that like there's some scariness going on, but there's definitely more thriller.
So
going
it's
on.
more suspense. Than
Yeah, it's more suspense thriller. There's definitely some quicker moments. I'm not gonna say action. That's not really accurate, but there's definitely some faster moments. And I wouldn't categorize it as horror. I couldn't do that. That doesn't make no sense.
And once you, well, let's just say, once you got pen to paper and you started going, and you realized, hey, I got something here,
Mm-hmm.
and you did your thing and you finally finished your book.
Yeah.
How did you go about actually getting it published? Who did you have to talk to? I mean, was it a struggle, or did you just?
So yeah, yes and no. That's such a good question. It was hard in the sense of like I didn't really have anybody to walk me through. I had to figure that out.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of people can say this, but there's two ways to publish. You can do what's it called, traditional, and then there's self-publishing. Well, I went with the self-publishing because traditional often costs a little bit more money than what I had. But the thing with traditional publishing is that typically you take your work to a company, to a publishing company, and then they'll do the proofreading, they'll talk to you, they'll do all the heavy lifting, they'll do the marketing. Of course, you got to pay them to do all that, and like they are performing a service for you, and oftentimes I found out that this isn't the case for most companies, but I found out and I heard that when you bring a work, especially if you're like a not known author, and if you're, this is your first book, oftentimes companies, they're gonna want to publish something that's gonna make them money.
Right. Exactly.
And they're gonna reject you. They're gonna
Especially,
be like, yeah. And of course, a lot of these companies, they're like, they want you to make books, because a lot of these companies, they're pro book and they're pro publishers. But again, it's a company first, and so self-publishing, not only was it cheaper, but no one's gonna tell you not to do it.
Okay.
And then from there, making that decision was pretty much the hardest part. And then I had to hire a proofreader. She was amazing. She was super cool. I do have dyslexia, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was like, she could have been harsh, and she was nice. She was like, hey, just some basic grammar. Yeah, exactly. And she told me she was really the first confidence booster. She was the one who was, and she read it for the first time. She was the first person to read it from beginning to end, and she said, hey, like, this is pretty solid, like I did get the vibe that it is my first book, and I am paying her, so she is gonna kind of be a little bit.
So you thought it was more a little bit biased?
Yeah,
because you were paying her?
Exactly, yeah. So, but she said, hey, for your first time author, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she said, like, I wish you the best of luck. She was pretty amazing. I'm very grateful for her, because and I'm gonna work with her
more
in the future.
Yeah. What's up?
I'm already working on the next one, so I'm already looking at like, I've already been texting her a little bit. I'm like, hey, be ready, it's coming soon.
And okay, so once everything came out, once everything was published, I mean, how did it make you feel? Being so young, and you're like, I did this. Like, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, or I don't want to say hobby, because obviously it's more than a hobby to you.
Right, yeah.
I mean, obviously, you could probably turn this into a career.
Yeah.
But how did you feel? Once everything was said and done, and you had a physical copy.
I felt great. It was the greatest feeling in the world. I'm not trying to compare it, but I was holding my baby.
No.
And I was looking at it. It's weird, because as a kid, I've always wanted to publish a book.
Oh.
So to hold it and to have my name on it, and to have the title, and to have that, it was surreal. It was it was a dream come true. And I say that very strongly, because a lot of people get to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful. And of course, I had some supporters, but I had to put it to elbow grease, like I had to write it. I had to hear the criticism whenever it came. My parents were definitely the ones to give me some of the harshest criticism. For the best, of course. But they told me, like, hey, that's stupid. like don't do that.
Yeah.
But when it was all said and done, like, I could honestly say, like, I did it.
Yeah.
Like I did it.
You overachieved your that's something that you were afraid of.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, to hold my book, and for me to say, like, I'm an author, like, I did it. It wasn't even like I mean, it'd be nice, like, financial success would be nice, to make money off it, make good money off of it. That'd be awesome, but it's not really about that. I want the few people who are gonna read it to like it. That's what I want. That's what's more important to me than money, is that people like it, that I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
That's what's important to me.
And we're gonna let you guys, like Alex, I don't mean to interrupt you, my bad, but Alex is gonna tell you guys more where you can get the book after the show. But right now, you have any more questions, JR?
No, Alex, I mean, I'm very inspired to meet someone as young as you are. I mean, I've learned a lot, from you.
Is 23 young?
For us, yeah. We're in our 40s.
Okay.
I mean, for you to actually pursue your dreams so hard and push forward to do what you wanted to do, besides the with the pushback and actually getting it done at a young age, because there's people nowadays, or not even nowadays, should I say, that don't. They say they want to do something and they end up not doing it.
That's one thing I'm about to preach right now. You read my mind.
You actually,
read my mind.
Pushing it out, doing the work. I mean, that's ambition, and that's good to see in a younger person as such as yourself.
Because
And I'm glad to have got to know you and speak with you today, and I look forward to reading your book.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I appreciate that.
my partner, like I said, OJ. We all know him as for OJ. Me and JR, like for guys our age, when we were in school, so when your age, when we were in school, your age, there was a lot of kids and around your age right now, in our school level, didn't even think about writing a book, didn't even think about doing stuff like that. And JR could even tell you, people in our age in school were thinking about like parties, drinks, where's the next football game?
Yeah,
That's what in
yeah,
our age.
yeah.
That's what it was. That's what when we were in school. That's what it
Well,
was
like
about.
I said, COVID helped.
Yeah.
Like because you know you couldn't go to a party when everyone's
Yeah.
quarantined. You couldn't really go
Yeah.
out when everyone's quarantined. So
And
I
it's
had to
like
do
you were
something
being
with my
productive.
time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
You gotta do
But
something
that's
with your
that.
time.
But
you know,
off
you
of what,
couldn't
I'm not
just
trying to
sit at
piggyback
home.
off of what Jr. said, but what Jr. said fully is really a lot. I have a lot of respect for that, is because he is right. There's not a lot of kids nowadays with your at your age, mentality wise.
Or shall we say young person, not kid, because you're not a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
you are an adult, but
a
a
young
young
adult.
man such
Yeah.
as yourself at such a young age.
And not thinking about being productive, because there's lots of people that say, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to, like, I'm going to use that as an example. There's somebody I used to know who said, I wanted to be a manager of singers, I wanted to work my own clothing line, I work this and do this and that. All talk, say you're going to do something, but not doing it. If you be a man of your word, if you say you're going to do something, do it. I said I was going to do this today, we did it, we're here, right? So my thing is, you at being at such a young age, saying you're going to do something and finally getting it done. And even though, you know, because even though you say you're going to do something at a young age, yeah, there's going to be setbacks. There's setbacks, there's negative, there's lots of negative, there's always going to be haters. At the end of the day is, are you willing to go through all of that and to still be successful? And you did that. And at a young age, that's really successful. That's something proud you can say you accomplished at a young age. And that's cool. So we're going to get to my questions now. My first question is, what the people that are viewing and watching this video right now, what can they expect to buy when they first pick up the book?
Expect a first-time author for sure. It is my first book. I've had some good. I've heard good things so far. Of course, I'm gonna be biased towards my own work. The people so far, they're gonna be biased. My friends and my family, they've read it. They've all liked so far. But that's gonna come with bias. I would really like to hear, honesty. If it sucks, tell me. Like I want to know that it sucks. That way, so that way, hopefully, in the next project, I can do better. Expect a lot of, in terms of story, expect family. Like that's a core theme in this story in particular. It centers around three people. These three people, they're blood related, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's this.
So there's three characters in the book.
No, there's multiple characters.
Okay.
But it centers around these three characters.
So three main characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
three main characters. The risk of spoiling it, it's a tia, and it's his cousin, and it's the protagonist. Protagonist is Miguel.
Okay.
And it's about them three kind of rebuilding this relationship that was lost. And it's plays on the factor of like sometimes you lose people, sometimes there's missing pieces, and you're trying to find that, and you think you can find that in people, and really, or you think you can find that with yourself, and really you can find it with people. And then, of course, vice versa. Sometimes there's things that you want from people, and you're just not going to get it. You have to find it within yourself.
Okay.
So, like I said, a big theme, of course, is family.
I'm big on family, so I respect that. We're family, very family to me and Jared.
Of course.
I see as you are now as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very lucky. I recognize that not everybody, had two wonderful parents. I recognize a lot of people only had one wonderful parent. I recognize some people that didn't have parents. I recognize that. So I do recognize that. I'm very lucky. I won the lottery when it came to having a parent. Of course, no one's perfect, and parents are far from perfect. But like I said, they are my biggest cheerleaders. Wanted me to succeed, and I know parents out there who don't want their children to succeed. Like it's again, it's a very me kind of mentality, especially in today's day and age. And like I said, I won the lottery. I'm very lucky. I think that's a big influence on the story that like I said, I was able to draw from my personal life. I'm glad to say that.
Right.
Okay, but my second question, I don't want to give away too much for the viewers, like spoil the book if y'all are gonna buy. Y'all need to buy the book. It is a good book. Me when we were working together and you first started telling me about the book, and I was really shocked, but at the same time I was very happy because I work with you every day. You're a great kid, hard worker. I know I see you're very family oriented. As we work together at our job, and when I first heard about people at work where rumors spread around work all the time, and people were spreading the rumors about your book, and I was like, wait a minute. Alex is writing a book, really? And when you start showing me clips, those of y'all who don't know, when he was first writing the book, I was the one who had sneak peeks before it even came out, before it even got published. I had sneak peeks. I see him at work when he had on his break. He was on his laptop doing stuff, and I always asked him, "You're gonna get it published?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, is it almost done?" He's like, "Yeah." And I even told him, I was like, "The day you get it published, the day you get it set up, and everything done, come see me, and we're gonna do a video."
I remember that. Yeah.
I told him. I even told him, and I don't want to spoil the book, like I said, because I'm the one who got sneak peeks, so I know a couple of things of what it's about and fully what it's about. But to our viewers, people who are watching, what can they expect? As they know they know it's about 3 characters, they know it's a family book, but what can they be more excited about to I want to pick this up because it looks interesting to me. The cover, so also the cover.
It delves into supernatural themes, and it delves into religious themes, and it delves into, well, I guess I summed it up. Delves into religious and supernatural themes. It also delves into, what's the word? There's a word for cosmic horror. Like, how do how do people react to things that they don't understand?
Okay.
And like, is it better or is it worse? What questions are you gonna ask? What questions don't you ask? Do you just move on with it, or do you deal with it?
Yeah.
And of course, like, how do other people react? Like within the character, you know how he reacts, and you know his thoughts. But how does everybody else react when these weird things start
Okay, so it's like if you were to be put in certain different type of situations, how are you gonna come out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like how when you took you to write the book.
Yeah. Exactly. So expect a little bit of existential, dread. Expect a little like religious, dread kind of things going on. Expect a little, but also like expect some hope, because it is about these 3 characters coming together and facing off against this cosmic entity, against this strange force of nature. So, like I said, there's some hopeful aspects, there's some dreadful aspects, but there's also some religious aspects. So
now, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Not to inner like, because I know there's some religious people who do watch our channel, and we get a lot of young teenage viewers, and we also get a lot of older viewers too. I don't want to offend anybody who is religious and stuff, but when people like who are religious and they want to pick up the book, and then for them not to be offended, they won't be offended with some of the stuff that's in there, like if they're religious or not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Of course, and
I just want to answer that question for you.
Yeah, of course. Especially in today's day and age, people are going to hear religion, they're going to be turned off. Especially in today's day and age. And that's fine,
Because everyone has their different beliefs.
Everybody has their own beliefs.
People entitled to
Exactly.
Some people don't believe at all. So, and that's cool, It is a work of fiction, first and foremost, and I believe entertainment, first and foremost, should be there to entertain.
Okay.
That's just the theme.
Yeah.
Religion played a part in my life. It's going to play a part, of course, in what I produce. It's going to happen. However, like I said, it is a work of fiction. Like there's going to be some religious aspects in there that draw from reality.
Yeah.
And then also I took some creative liberties with a lot of things.
That's good. Yeah. All right. I have 3 more questions. Question 1, question 3 actually. If people were to walk into this bookstore, I know it's not in bookstores now, but I know your goal is to get it into stores and stuff. If people were interested, like to want to pick up the book right now, purchase it, where can they purchase it at?
So right now, the only way to get it that I found is you got to go to Barnes & Noble website, type in the title, type in buy.
Well, actually, let's start that off first before we get to there. Tell them the name of the book. What's
the name of the book is called Magnolia Falls. Magnolia, for those who don't know, the magnolia trees, magnolia flowers, they typically represent hope. They typically represent freedom. They represent nostalgia also. And of course, I wrote falls because within this book, hope, freedom, all these things, they're taken away. It's also the name of the location that the book takes place in, so it's a kind of double conjure. that's the title. Of course, my name, Alessandro Brede. It is self-publishing, so you're not gonna find no other company had anything to do with it. So
Now,
just
before we
type in that,
show
type
the cover to everybody again, my thing is too. I remember when you had first asked me about work, have you seen the cover yet? And I was like, no. And then he finally showed it to me. I was like, he's like, I thought I showed it to you. I was like, no, yeah, show it to me, bro. And
I showed everybody, yeah.
And then when he finally showed me the cover, I was like, that's amazing. I was like shocked. So before we showed them and shocked them, what came up with that? What gave you the idea for the cover? Or where did you get your inspiration for the cover?
No idea. I guess I just. Okay, so for me, when I was first writing it or typing it, when I was first typing it, I didn't really think about the cover. I didn't even really have the title till a little bit afterwards. And as soon as I started thinking of the title, it just kind of came in. Like, well, it takes place on a. Is this a spoiler? No. It takes place. No, because like I had to make sure.
Am I spoiling it for you? Hold on.
No. It takes place on a ranch, so I figured, okay, just gonna put a rant on the title, right? Put a rant on the title, make it a little dark. I've always loved the lettering like that. So of course, I had that going. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna make it like that. Like that to me, that made a lot of sense. So I never really struggled with that. And I had one thing that is kind of funny. I have a very specific vision with how it was gonna come out. I kind of automatically knew how it was gonna look. So the hardest part about this whole title thing was working with an artist. Okay. I reached out. You know, there are hundreds of ways to reach out to people. Reached out. I got into contact with this artist, and again, no shade. You know, like he's an artist. You know, he had his own vision on how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
So we clashed a lot with that. And eventually, I told him like, I can't work with you. Like and no, he was really talented. I think I showed you some of his work. Really, really talented dude. He can draw. He used digital art. He was a talented guy. But again, I had a vision that I really, really wanted, and he, of course, he worked with me quite a bit. But I told him like, you know, man, it's not what I'm looking for. So, and then I went to someone else, and I told them what they wanted, and we eventually we got here, and it's actually almost exactly what I wanted it to look like. I'm sure if I look closely enough, I'm sure I'll find something that I didn't really love about the cover, but it's perfect. I really have no notes, so I'm really happy with how it came out. In terms of the title, I shifted through a couple different titles because again, I wrote the story before I came up with the title. I came up with the cover. The title was at first The Thing in the Cornfield. That was the original title. Yeah. And then I spend a lot of time in like bookstores. You know, every time me and my girlfriend, every time we go out on a date, we always go to Barnes and Noble, right? That's my style. We go to her thing and then we'll go to my thing, right? Yeah. Every time, you know, I'm in the school library, right? I'm always looking at these things. And I realized The Thing in the Cornfields is a very generic title. Like, that's everywhere. You know, you see titles like that. And then it became Texas Ranch or something like that. And then I just remember thinking like, now people are gonna think about pizza. They're gonna think about salad dressing. So I was like, no.
Give me my pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can't do that. Yeah. And then eventually, I think it was my dad actually. Or was it my brother? I forget. Yeah. I think it was my dad. And then my dad just said like, why don't you just like it takes place on a ranch, right? And I was like, yeah, he'll just call it the name of the ranch. Like, okay. And then it kind of fit because, like I said, the title, it's the name of the property, and that's the most literal use of the title, but also like it represents what happens in the story as well, what happens with the characters as well. They start off innocent, and then it becomes something, and then that's taken away from them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So again, you know, the cover that was always gonna happen. The title actually, that I had to cycle through a couple of those before I had it.
And I can relate to you there about like not about finding certain artists to work with, because like me, when I had to come up for the YouTube logo, my niece did a sketch design for my YouTube logo.
Right. Yeah.
And then I had to went to my friend who actually drew it out better. She's a real artist. And then I worked with her and a couple of artists first before to figure out who was going to do my logo the way I wanted it. And I worked her name was Keely. You know Keely? Keely? Yeah. She did my logo for my YouTube channel. So if it weren't for her, I wouldn't people wouldn't know my logo for what it is now. Yeah, so it's kind of hard. I understand. I can relate there with you about working with certain artists to find a logo. But now, my last question. Go ahead. The floor is yours, man. Show them the cover of your book, and where can they purchase it at, man?
Can they see it?
You can get up closer.
They can see it, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There's the cover, Magnolia Falls. Of course, there's my name down there, Alessandro Drede. You might have to pause because it is a long, funny name. But if you want to read the book, if you're interested at all, and if you want to support,
Because me and JR are gonna go buy our copy after this video.
that'd be awesome, man. And if you want to support an indie writer, you know, this is the perfect opportunity. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you're not interested, I appreciate it if you do, but I want people to read it, and I want people to be honest about it. I want people to tell me, hey, this sucks. I want people to enjoy it, of course. And I always tell people, because I had a lot of friends, I'm sure that I'm sure that you've heard it. A lot of people say like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna support you."
Yeah.
I'm like, great. Are you gonna read it?
Maybe
Nah,
not.
I'm not gonna read it. So for me, it's like, oh, I appreciate
Prefer
it.
them reading
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like
buy
I
it.
said, I appreciate it. I appreciate that they're willing to like support me, and that's really nice. But I want people to like it.
You
I
want
want
the
people.
honest truth.
I want the truth.
You like you, and I ain't gonna lie with you. It's like with me and JR, and I'll use this as an example. I'm not trying to be take the spotlight off of our guest. You want great feedback, criticism, because like knowing us, when we do videos or when we do that, I always get good comments or bad comments.
Yeah.
But I always want the feedback because it makes me learn from it, but motivates me more to want to do better and say, okay, where can I work my critiques out, you know, and be better.
And that's the thing. Like the best part about working on the next project is that I'm not starting from scratch. Like now I know what to do.
Yeah.
Now it's not so scary anymore. And it was very overwhelming. I thought the hard part was gonna be writing the theme. That was like, in all truth, it's pretty 50-50, at least in my experience, because I had never done this before, right? But now, like for me, the hardest part was finding the resources, finding people to work with me, finding a proofreader, finding what's it called, an artist. Oh, I just lost the word. Finding an artist, and then finding out which company I would like to go with to do the book, to do the self-publishing. Yeah. And then from there, and then it was finding out, you know, like, can I go with this company, that company? Right now, you can only buy it at Barnes & Noble website. You have to go to the Barnes & Noble website. You have to type in my name, type in the title, of course, Magnolia Falls by Alessandro Brede. Type that in, it'll come up. It's not on Amazon yet. It will be on Amazon eventually. That is the #1 place people read books nowadays, so that it will go there. I chose not to for some reasons. It will be there as soon as I get some free time. I'm gonna do that. I can do that in like an afternoon. I just haven't gotten back to it yet. And I hope eventually I will get some hardcovers out there. But really, that's not my priority to get hardcovers right now. My priority right now is to just get it digitally, because that's where most people are gonna read it.
Another question I want to ask you, for people who like do the audio tune, will it be on audio tune?
I don't know yet. I'm not there yet. If my research is correct, I could technically do it myself. I'm not a good voice actor though. That's not my expertise. I'm sure if it gets enough track, eventually a company will.
I know there's
reach
some
out.
people out there. How you said the dyslexia is.
Yeah.
There's some people who, but I'm for you, dyslexia and me, dyslexia for us doing what we do, like me with my YouTube and you with your book writing.
Yeah.
We're still talented for what we have.
Yeah,
But there's some people like that who have dyslexia.
And you know what? Like you asked me
younger.
like about discouragement.
Right.
That was a big discouragement. Like the person again, like I name no names.
Right.
I had somebody say like, "Oh, we're not gonna find success. You know, like you're an indie author. You know, you're not gonna find success." And then another person said, well, "You're dyslexic. How are you gonna do that?"
Exactly.
So it's like, well, why would I let that stop me?
And that's another thing I want to say. Like, me and JR always preach motivational speeches in our videos about when we're cooking, when we're out and about, and I always preach to you guys too when I'm going to TikTok on the daily, you know, on TikTok as well. But like I said, I'm a former person that had dyslexia. He is too. But both of us, and JR as well, because his sister was the same way, dyslexia as well. But us three right here are all living proof of you can do anything you want to do in life if you put your mind to it and you're not afraid to do the hard work. Because at the end of the day, bro, like what are you willing to overcome in life and over push yourself? Me, I get a lot of negative reports about, oh, you can't do this on YouTube, can't do that, can't do that. But me and Jar are living proof. We're always successful, and we're always not afraid to work together. And look at what we're doing now. We're still being successful to this day. And him as well, being so young at a younger age and accomplishing a lot of negativity he got for the book, but he accomplished it and did it, and now he's a published author. Let's y'all know you can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it, not afraid to do the work. Now, last question I wanted to ask you before we cut this off and let everybody go. For the younger generation,
Yes.
people who are viewing and who have dyslexia too, like I just finished saying right now, who are watching this video right now and picking up a book and reading the book, the younger generation, anybody, and the last thing you want to leave to them to inspire these younger viewers than you now. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, me and JR, we see you. You're our younger generation.
Yeah.
So to see you be successful in our younger generation, that's a great relief for us because we know we're leaving it in good hands.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the future. So
Yeah.
you now being the man, and the younger generation coming before you, what do you want to say to them?
It's a great question. I gotta think about that. Just start. You know, just do it. There's always a reason not to do something. You know, I speak from personal experience. Your house may burn down someday. You know, your house could blow up one day. You might lose big inspiration. You might lose some people in your life. There's always a reason not to do something, but you have to start. You have to start. And of course, you know, you're never alone. At the risk of getting corny, at the risk of getting cheesy, you know, like the Lord is always on your side. You know, nobody will ever be against you if He's with you.
Exactly.
Never, ever go into something scared. You know, go in with courage. You know, of course, be nervous. Like I was nervous when I first started because I always had those questions like, it's gonna suck. You know, back of the head, so I was gonna ask, like, this is gonna suck. I'm a first time. What do I know? You know? But I did it, and so far, so good. You know, of course, you know, haven't heard a completely unbiased opinion yet. You know, a bunch of my, like I said, friends have read it, family have read it, so they're gonna be nice. You know, and the few criticisms I have heard, they're always like with the little, you know, tape of sugar cone. Yeah, I was saying tart. No, sorry. But yeah, you have to start. You know, you can't sit around forever. You know, you have to start somewhere because you know you're gonna be older the next day. You know, the next day might bring a new excuse not to do it. So you have to start. Of course, these aren't original words. You know, everybody knows this. But I did this because I had to, because I wanted to.
You want to? I say you look like, it's like to me. You were COVID trying to figure out what to do, but I think to me you overcome all the odds, man, because you challenged yourself.
Yeah.
You went through a lot of
and
challenges.
like I said, it was definitely hard because I can't. I mean, I can read, I can't write, but it's definitely a little bit. And of course, over the years, I've gotten better. You know, over the years, it's become less of a challenge, but it's still there. You know, anyone who's read a paragraph of mine, you know, unedited, you know, they'll tell you, you know, yeah, man, you misspelled that word right there, you know. But that's not an excuse, you know.
Yeah. But I think what challenges overcome is going to make it better for you in the long run.
Yeah.
And like I said again, for us as YouTubers, bringing you on as a guest, it was an honor for us. To be honest,
It was a pleasure to be here.
We do YouTube videos a lot. We do like a lot of, y'all know, listen to me and JR daily. We always stick to fitness. We always teach them. We do healthy cooking on our platform, on the YouTube channel. We always do, you know, staying in shape and our daily events that we do all the time. But this is our first actual real road podcast, and you're our first guest, and it's an honor for me, for JR, to have you as our first guest
man, it's my
on the
pleasure.
on the podcast. And I was always looking for something like a big event, special,
Inspirational.
Inspiration.
No, like
because
this
that's what
was
we're all about, is
definitely,
inspiration, me and JR.
This was definitely a super awesome thing for me.
And
Of course, you know, of course, man, it was my pleasure. Like, and this is so cool to be able to talk about my book. This is all, you know me, right? At work, this is all I talk about. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, you check out my book yet? You know?
And me, I was always asking you, was the book done? Was the book done? And, and like I said, me and my boy,
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I wanted to give you that
to
platform
go back on that
to show
point.
it. Yeah.
Is it takes time. You know, nothing happens. Nothing happens in a day. Nothing happens in an hour. You know, it takes time. And I told people, like, yeah, dude, it's gonna come out this month. 3 months later, you know, I'm saying the same thing. You know, eventually, I think you were there when I kind of like was talking about it. I was like, I said something along the lines of November 30th.
I don't know. Is it out yet?
Yeah, and then well, for sure, November 30th. That's the official. Look, it says right here, official publication date, November 30th. Yeah.
And I remember me and OJ, I was always telling OJ, hey, we gotta get ready though. We have a podcast coming up. He's all, when? I said, Alex, he wrote his first book. We're gonna help him out. He's like, all right. So, but
can I ask you a question as well?
What's up?
Now that you actually finished your book and you got everything, well, not maybe everything for this book that you wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as, you know, I accomplished it, you know, I'm one and done, or is this something you want to keep doing?
No. This is one idea. Of course, everything starts off as an idea. I have many ideas. that I wanted to put to print. And right now I'm in school because I'm learning how to
Right.
learn how to be a better writer.
Do you?
I want to write for movies, TV,
Right.
video games, of
Okay,
course.
so you plan on taking this into a career,
I plan on going.
or would like to take
the
it
whole nine
to a
yards,
career?
yeah.
Because I assume, people, they accomplish something. Okay, I accomplished that.
See, okay,
On to
so
the
it's
next
funny
thing.
you mentioned that. I remember when I was finally holding it. I remember I was finally holding it, and for a time, I remember thinking to myself, I can die now. Like, yeah,
It's over.
I mean,
sounds
when
like
you
that.
accomplish
done.
a big feat in your life.
Because
what you
this
wanted
is
to do.
literally like I've always wanted to do this, and I've
Right.
always in my head I always cycle through, and I'm sure if my mom ever watches this, she can confirm.
She'll have to be
'cause I would
send it to you when it's done.
yeah. She can probably confirm.
Right.
I wanted to be an environmental safety specialist.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to breed dogs for a little bit.
Wow.
I wanted to go to space for a little bit.
Okay.
I wanted to. I was gonna join the Navy at
So
some
you're
point.
exploring your
but
options.
at the end, always in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to publish a book at some point. And I always, because I always had these ideas in my head, and it wasn't until I sat down and I started writing it
Yeah.
that I thought, like, you know what, I could probably do this for the rest of my life. And I grew up playing video games. Like I said, I grew up reading comics. I grew up. I'm lucky enough that,
So
that
obviously,
me and my
this
brothers.
is something you enjoy.
Yeah. Me and my brothers, we grew up watching TV shows. We grew up watching movies. Like,
Right.
and it really, like, I can say books. It's everything. Storytelling. Movies, video games, especially video games. I love playing video games. I love the story games. I love the RPGs. Storytelling in general. And I feel like to limit it to books is wrong. To limit it to movies is wrong. TV is wrong. Video games is wrong. It comes everywhere.
Oh, definitely,
It comes from
definitely,
people.
definitely, yeah.
People can come up to you.
That's how we
never
got our
written,
history.
yeah.
History
Never
from
written
the-
anything down, but they'll tell you the greatest story you've ever heard. Be like, hey, you want to hear something crazy? Yeah. It's things like that. I think that's a very beautiful thing. So, to answer your question, no. There was a time because, like I said, I've always wanted to do this since I was a little boy. I've always wanted to publish a book. So when I actually did it, like the thought did cross, like I can die now. Like
Right.
I did it.
You got your baby. He said baby.
I was like, you can check that box, and I'm good. And I was a little burnt out because
Oh, I
the
believe
last
it.
couple
I mean,
days, the
it's-
last couple days of publishing, it's things that you don't expect. It's
Right.
like I have to go on the website, I have to do all kinds of crazy things. The hardest part, honestly, was formatting.
Oh wow!
Because
I bet.
I
Yeah.
wrote it all in like
Yeah.
one Google Doc. And then when the proofreader showed up, she got it and she put it in a Word. I had to go back on the doc so I can go back in the correction. Excuse me. And then I had to format it. Like, that's things you don't think
Right.
about,
No,
you know?
no, you
Things
just
that nobody
think-
told me that.
Right. You just
and
think
then
it's a book and one and
I
done.
thought I was
and
gonna
that's
like text message the website and be like, hey, here it is. Nah. I had to upload it,
Yeah.
and then I had to like condense it. I had to number the pages. Again, these are things that a traditional publisher would have done for me.
Yeah.
I didn't go to a traditional publisher. I had to do it all on my own.
I think that's the best part about
Do
it
you
because you're
plan
challenging yourself.
on using a publisher later if you
Yes,
plan
I
on
do.
publishing
Because
more books,
it
or
was
you
hard.
plan on doing this
Yeah,
on
it was hard. Hopefully one day I can afford that luxury, and I definitely will if I can. I don't think it's a bad thing. A lot of people like
Well,
to
it's your
say,
first time, you're learning,
yeah.
so.
A lot of people like to say like, oh, you can't solve your problems with money. I was like, well, no, you can't. That's
Yeah,
true.
but
You
it
can.
helps.
But that luxury would be
Yeah,
awesome.
awesome,
Like
yeah.
that luxury would be heavily, especially knowing how difficult it was to format it. Like, dude, like the weirdest things. Like you had to, like there are things that are obvious. Like you had to get the page number. It's things that you don't know that though. Like there's some BS that. Like, what do you mean? I have to have it 10 spaces to the left, and then
Yeah.
I have to have it condensed down. Like, it was some weird thing. But then, like, that was the hardest part because I don't know how to use docs. Like,
Right.
I type on docs. A lot of my school notes, they're all
Yeah,
docs.
a lot of them.
I didn't know how to, like,
Yeah.
shift it around and get it
Yes.
nice and ready. But once it was done, I was kind of burnt out. I was like, okay. And then people immediately started asking, like, oh, well, is it on Amazon? I'm like, yeah, but not yet. Like, yes.
Sometimes when you're in school, writing the first, second, third draft, you're like, I'm done.
And I was
That's
burnt
cool.
out. And then I was immediately like, I was gonna take maybe a couple of days and just
To
really
yourself, right?
enjoy it. Not even a couple of days. I took a couple of weeks. And then school started, and I just never got to it. And then, of course, the job. You gotta pay those bills. You got a girlfriend. I gotta do that.
We all, yeah,
That sounds
I know how
bad.
it feels.
No,
Yeah,
but
we
like,
all do. We
I
all
mean,
do.
like,
That's
yeah,
not a
but
job.
like,
But
yeah.
I have one more question before we end this live
Yes,
today
yes.
and call it out. You did mention this earlier during the conversation we were having. You said you started on the other, and what I mean,
Yeah.
okay, what I mean by that, So if you guys already got enough about the book and you always are interested in this book, please go show Alex some love. He's my best friend, and he's a great future for the future, and I'm very excited for him on his journey of writing this first novel book. Got it published and everything's ready to go. If you guys are interested, remember the characters are about 3 characters. The book, and it's also about a family. So if those of y'all who are about family, like me and JR, are family oriented, you interested about 3 characters, and it is about a Thea. Now I know a little bit more about it, but like I said, because I was with him when he was writing it, and I was just waiting for it to come out. Now that it's actually out, I'm gonna go purchase my copy at Barnes and Nobles with Alex's name and everything. The cover of the book will be on the page of the video when y'all see it, and I'll let you know my name on the top too, on the side of it. Let me know video. But the next book you're starting on, what can people expect about it?
So that one's gonna be a little different
That
from
was
this
my
one.
question, yeah.
This one's gonna be purely. How do I explain it? How do I explain it without this? This one's gonna. So this one takes place in a ranch, and it's centered around 3 characters. For what it is, I'm not trying to devalue it in any way, shape, or form, but I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. In times of scale, not really in terms of like story, in terms of book, because again, what I think is precious about storytelling is that it's about people, it's about characters. So I'm not gonna go bigger in that sense, but this one takes place on a ranch. The next one's gonna be about all of America. And, the title for that one, I'm not sure about that title yet. Like I said, I write things before I title them. I can't say the title yet.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Don't spoil your secrets in that.
No.
But I mean,
But that
what
one was,
can they expect for the next story?
the next story is gonna be about a little boy, navigating the scary world, having to go through life by himself, often isolated, and hopefully,
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Go ahead.
Please
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Say what you're saying.
Yeah, so like I said, it's gonna be a little bit bigger. It's not gonna just take place in a ranch. It's not gonna just be about 3 people. It's gonna be about a group of people. It's gonna be, of course, it's gonna be centered around a little boy. It's gonna be about a group of people. It's gonna be about what it means to live in a world. How do I say things without spoiling? It's kind of hard to get. You got to choose words, right? How to live in a world that's so drastically hostile.
Yeah, because
again, like today's day and age, you're not allowed to disagree with people now.
No.
Like there used to be a time when you and I could disagree on something, and we'd be like, agree to disagree, we're still homies. You know what I mean? We can't do that nowadays. Like nowadays, if you disagree, exactly. Nowadays, if you disagree with someone, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
Can
exactly.
I cuss?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're an asshole, you're a loser, you're a jerk, you're this. And I think that's wrong. I think that who knows what happened, who knows what happened with that shift. It's just, and again, that aspect of reality inspired this book a lot. And like, how does a person of youth grow up in a world that's just so hostile towards him and towards his people? And then, hopefully that comes out. I know what I'm doing now. I'm not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't take me as long. This took me years. This took me years and years and years. And it wasn't until I actually published it that I feel a lot more confident going into the next project. And like I said, I already started it. I already put pen to paper.
So,
Yeah, so hopefully sooner than later.
one more question I want to ask you. Books, you mentioned Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
Books turn to movies.
Yeah.
Do you see that turn into a movie? If the people think it's a really
One could hope. Like me, of course, I want to say yes. You know what I mean? They make movies about anything
nowadays, exactly.
and I like to think that it's possible. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
Would you love to have your hands on if they make it a movie?
yes, I would love to be part of the creative process. But again, this is my property. I copyrighted it, so they have to ask me for permission. And that would be one of my terms. Like, but yes, of course. I'm never gonna say. I'm not gonna say no to making this, more accessible to people. But I would really want to be a part of it because everybody has their own vision for things. Like this is my vision. This is my version of the story. When you read it, you guys are gonna have your own idea of what the story is. And that's just natural. And I think that I find that so beautiful about books in particular. With movies, everybody kind of gets the same idea. With TV, the same idea. With video games, to a much lesser extent, same idea. But books, I think, is so cool because my story isn't going to be your story. Your story is going to be his story.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
Like the opposite of different of everybody else.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I'm excited to see where this goes, where it could go. it's interesting because people are talking about it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I am allowed to say this, but I don't know how she feels about it. My cousin, she's actually going to school and she's working for, I believe, I'm not mistaken, screenplay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like she's working on movies, and she asked me, she's like, hey, can I write a screenplay for like homework? And I was like, yeah. And you never know where that can lead. Of course, in the back of my head, I really like, wouldn't it be? Yeah, like in my head, I'm thinking like, wouldn't it be the coolest thing ever if that's how a movie got made, right? But again, I'm also like, I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I also know that it's just for homework. And
I mean, but you never know. I mean,
but like
some of the biggest projects come from the littlest things.
Little things, yeah.
Like Quentin Tarantino, he was a nobody, and then
Yeah.
suddenly he was somebody, And I'm not saying that I'm trying to be famous right now.
No.
I'm really not, but weird things have happened,
Yeah.
So I think I'm allowed to be optimistic.
Right. I mean,
whether or not it can be a movie one day, I think I'm allowed to be and like I said, they make
anything's
movies
possible.
about anything,
Anything's possible. Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw a movie about a glory hole the other day, so I'm like, so I think I got a chance, You
Yeah.
never know.
But this is your boy Jay Snicker Squad. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today for the first podcast ever of me and Chef OJ. I really want to thank our guest today. He's the man of the hour, man. Alex, appreciate having you, man.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for
Nice
being
meeting
here.
you. It was nice meeting you.
Those of y'all, like I said again, our Team Sneaker Squad, who are tuning in today, who are authors, love books, love to challenge yourself, challenge your mind, experience new things. Check out his book, man. Go check it out right now. It's at Barnes & Noble's bookstore. Type in his name. And this is the author of the book, Alex, right here with us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like I said, I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble's. Me and JR purchase our copy this week right now when you started on reading it. Is there a way where they can, viewers, like our viewers right now, who want to leave you comments about the book, is there a place where they can do that?
Yeah, so on Barnes & Noble, like I said, you go to the website, there's going to be a little spot there where audience can talk about it. Like I said, be honest.
True.
Tell me it sucks. Tell me it's great. Be honest.
And that's
don't be mean though. Be honest. Don't be mean.
No hate, no trash
yeah.
talk. But be those of y'all who are gonna purchase the book and viewers who want to take an interest in the book. Remember, 3 characters about an auntie. It's on a farm, and don't forget again, it's about these three characters and what they're going through. I know a little bit more, but I want to read the book and enjoy the story more. So, Barnes & Noble's bookstore. Type in his name, Alex, our guest, and as again, you can go ahead and purchase this book right now. Amazing cover, amazing author. We got to sit down and talk to him today, pick his brain, me and Chef OJ, who will bring you guys back on this podcast with another special guest who would love to bring you back for the second book. If when it's done, let me know. Keep in contact with me, and we'll bring him back for the second book as our guest again. But other than that, if you have any comments for Alex, please leave it on the video on the bottom. Let us know. Me and Chef OJ and J Snicker Squad, and our guest Alex again. Thank y'all. J Snicker Squad. Peace, man. That's it.